Same.
Let's just restart. We're starting. We're gonna restart. We're restarting. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Breaking down the newest update for Ready or Not, which dropped on Saturday, the 29th of January. Breaking down the things that I think you need to understand what's going on, because there's such a huge list of things that I know a lot of people don't want to go through. If you do want to go through that, you can find this all in the Ready or Not community tab on Steam, or just check the link in the description and it should bring you right to the actual patch notes. Now, among networking and graphical improvements for better performance, there's a lot of new highlights for this that I'd like to break down. The biggest ones are going to be two new maps, brand new maps that we haven't seen before: Valley of the Dolls and Fast Food. Now, both of these maps are very interesting. I found that the Valley of the Dolls is a very difficult map, very close quarters, hard to see a lot of different things when you're moving through. It takes a lot of shoot, move, communicate with your team and make sure that you're all moving together because of how tight this building is on the inside. When you're trying to make your way through it and try to get that A or A+, it is very challenging. There's about 3 or 4 levels to it where you go up and down multiple sets of stairs, and there's a lot of rooms that enemies are hiding. So have some fun with it. Check it out. It's a good time. Fast Food is the second brand new map. This map is a restaurant, essentially like a McDonald's. If you go inside of it, you're going to see it's a very short map. We were able to complete this map in under 1 minute and 30 seconds and get an A+ on it. It is incredibly quick. It is a short map. It's the smallest map that the game has to offer right now, but there's definitely a lot to be seen on this map, especially with multiple rooms that are very close quarters combat for this map. The last one is Penthouse. Now, I know I said 2 maps. This is the 3rd map that we've already seen. It was a test map. This one has new textures all across it where it feels more finished now than it did before. Now, they did change some of the areas with it. There's a giant open center room that really keeps the entire circular area of the penthouse together. And it's very bizarre when you first enter it because the lighting really pulls you in and it's very dark, very hard to see certain areas. Same with Valley of the Dolls. Those are 2 maps that I'd recommend NVGs or flashlights at least. Now, taking a look at the other maps, what did they update? Hotel is amazing. It looks beautiful. It's gorgeous. They have a new lobby with first floor areas that you're able to explore. They have a raid, hostage rescue, and active shooter now added to that map. And this was by far my favorite map so far right now because of how big it is. There are so many different areas in the map. It's very big, which is challenging, and it really encourages 5 players to go through this entire area together. And if you're doing a raid, goodness gracious, is it hard. But just take a look at some of these areas that you're walking through and moving. Absolutely beautiful. Now, 213 Park Homes, they added a raid mode to this, and it opens up the map significantly. If you take a look at some of the gameplay here, you'll see how big and open the entire map is, where you have this laundromat that you can clear before you go all the way up the stairs and work your way up to the 2 buildings. Now, the building that you can go into now is the fumigated building. They moved that building, basically everything that was on inside of the previous building, it's on this side in the fumigated building. They have a little bridge that connects the 2 of the places together, which makes it very easy to go between the 2 buildings if you need to. Now, they did add destructible lights to this map, so have some fun with that as well. Caesar's Car Dealership, they added a bomb threat mode. The gas station has a new environmental overhaul, so everything on the inside looks a lot more in place and really pulls you into the world that they are trying to create. And Port, they added a new bomb threat mission. Working mirrors, which scared the crap out of me when I first went into a bathroom and a mirror caught my attention. I thought I saw somebody, but it was my own reflection. Sight swapping and toggling for new optics. So they have a 1x and 4x optic, which is an LCAN basically, and then they have a 1x and 12x. The 1x is just the iron sights at the very top, and the 1x for the 12x optic is the flip sight if you have a laser. So you really need to put a laser on to the guns that you're using a 12x on because it's the point shoot with that laser sight. They added free look with an option to activate through hold or toggle. There's alarm traps now. Now, these things, take a look at here. I'll shut up for a second. That's the alarm trap. They're pretty loud and they alarm the enemies and they go and investigate. And that's one of the AI things that they have added to this game as well. It heard gunshots and they investigate trap stimulus when traps go off. They have an improved melee system for players and AI. I've definitely noticed the AI will run at you if you get too close within proximity. They will start whacking you with their weapons. And rested AI are able to move. So there were times where we would have AI that were holding their hands up and were getting ready to give up, and then they would just get up and start running away. So it definitely encourages you to want to get them detained as soon as possible. Now, they have fleeing improvements, which is what we kind of talked about. No fleeing to the outdoor areas, which is very nice because there were times where, especially on gas station, if you know, you would have enemies or civilians that would run all the way out past cars outside of the building and you wouldn't be able to find them. It would take forever to complete the mission because of this. they fixed that. Suspects definitely hesitate a lot more, and I've noticed that the reaction to gunshots in general is significantly better. You're not going to get one tapped in the head nearly as much when they don't have a gun pulled. Now here's the difference. If they have a gun pulled and they're already shooting at, say, your teammate, it's just like the one tap mechanic that they had before this update. So just keep that in mind. If the AI is already shooting at you and you poke your head out for a second, it's still one tap. So when we're talking about halved civilian morale, what I've noticed is that a lot more of the civilians are giving up a lot sooner and quicker than they used to. There's occasionally some stubborn ones that you'll run into, but I've noticed that the civilians are a lot more likely to give up in this update as opposed to the previous one. NVG's got a significant overhaul and they're definitely viable now. The R7 launcher, that is a magazine-fed customizable pepper ball gun. The Mark 16, reliably accurate 5.56. The BCM Mark 1, that is the supporter edition specific, so I don't have anything specific on that because I do not have that, but that is what they have for the supporter edition. Something to note, it doesn't have any statistical advantage over other 5.56 ARs in the game, which is great. The SLR-47 is a modernized Eastern carbine, boasting compactness and power. Very compact. They don't have any optics past the 1x, and it's kind of hard to see at times, so just keep that in mind when you're running it. It does have quite a bit of recoil though, I will say. Now the ATAC, R, and the SDR optics are all for the ARs across the board from M4, SBR 300, SA58, BCM Mark 1, Mark 16, SR 16, and the HK 416. So you can put the new 4x and 12x on all of those optics. Lastly, they have a coffee machine in the lobby, which gives you speed buffs for certain drinks, which I thought was awesome. And that'd be kind of cool to see if they add that stuff into the game, maybe. Now, the movement is definitely a lot faster, a lot quicker this time around. And if you haven't seen our system on how to make it where you press shift to be able to just run, definitely check out the video in the comments down below of some quick tips for Ready or Not. There's a lot of stuff to break down here, ladies and gents, but I think this is basically the highlights that I found most interesting. And I think the things that people are really looking for, you know, the maps, the guns, the AI. Now, there are some SWAT AI specific fixes that they did. If you like to play single player, definitely check out the rest of the patch notes if you want more information on this. I'll leave that down in the description. Hope you guys and gals enjoyed this. Please let me know your thoughts, questions, you know, anything that you have about the new update. Love to hear them. Take it easy, take care, stay safe out there. We're streaming on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Hope to see you there.
I get the shivers whenever I'm thinking about you. Just wanna leave